Have you ever seen one of those movies where the hero, he's trying to save the world, or he's trying to stop a bomb going off, or something really tense like that? And in order to do that, he needs access to like a government building, or he needs to turn the traffic light system off, or he needs to access some sort of, secure system. And in order to do that, he calls his good old mate, like the master hacker. For whatever reason, that guy tends to be English nowadays. Don't ask me, but I'll take it. They wheel this guy out, he sits in front of the keyboard, he starts bashing away furiously, code goes flying all about the screen, and then within a few seconds, bingo, you have a big access granted sign and everything's brilliant. So I don't know about you, but I don't have time to learn how to become a master hacker, but I kind of feel like it would be cool if I could look like one at least. And that's what we're going to do in this video. So in this video, it's going to be about 10 minutes. You're going to learn how to look like a master hacker so you can impress your friends. And before I forget, for those new to this channel, hi, my name is John. I do weekly YouTube videos on web development and productivity. If you like this kind of content, then please hit the subscribe button now. The internal Windows developers have created a secret hidden control panel which gives access to all of Windows features in a single pane. Now, this feature is disabled and not available to all users unless you know how, but luckily it is super simple to enable this God mode window as it's known. All you need to do is copy the text which you see in the terminal here, don't worry, it'll be in the show notes below, and then on the Windows desktop, create a new folder and paste in that text and we'll have access to the menu. The next program that I'm going to cover is the Linux tool and it's called Tmux. Now, in case you're sat there thinking, John, I thought this was a Windows video, why are you playing me like this? Fear not. In case you didn't realize, it's now possible to run Linux natively on Windows, which means that we can have the bash shell running really well on Windows. This wasn't really possible before. What this means is we can now open up a new set of tools that we can use, which didn't really work very well before, and Tmux is one of them. So if you want to learn how to put bash onto Windows, you can check out my video, How to Become a Windows Terminal God. It's really simple, it'll take you about 10-20 minutes, and once set up, you can run Tmux. Okay, to get going with Tmux, open up our bash shell. In there, just type in apt install Tmux. With Tmux installed, we just type in Tmux to launch it. To become a terminal wizard, you'll generally need to work with multiple shells at the same time. Now, the classic way of doing that is obviously opening up a new tab and having a shell per tab. However, this isn't really that efficient. A better approach is to work with multiple shells within the same tab, and this is where Tmux comes in. So to work with Tmux, we put in the command Control B, this is its shortcut key, and then we do a Shift 5. And as you can see, we've now got two shells within our terminal. If I do a Control B and a Shift 2, you can see that I'm split. If I do a Control B and an up, you can see that I'm now tabbing up and between all my different shells. So if I go over here and do a Control B, Control 2, you can see now that I'm opening up multiple shells and it's much easier for me to work. Okay, so one thing that really grinds my gears at my work is being forced to do those stupid Windows updates every day. I know it's a needed evil in terms of security, but what was happening is before Tmux, I was wasting about 5 minutes every day reconfiguring the terminals the way that I wanted it to. So with Tmux, we can have sessions. So if we do a Control B and an S, you can see all the different terminals that we have and the different sessions I have available. So this one is called John, so let's go to the John session. Now if I do a Control B and a Shift 4, what I can do is rename my session from John to New Session. And then if I do a Control B and S again, you can see that I've got New Session. If I do a Control B D, I close Tmux, and then I can do a Tmux A minus T, which will open up a session, and I think I'll call it New Session. And now I'm back into my session. I can also do a Control B and a bracket, and I should be able to tab between all my different sessions. So as you can see, Tmux is super useful because it allows you to become a hacker-like terminal ninja. I have only touched the tip of the Tmux iceberg. There's a whole plugin architecture, there's themes, there's a whole host of things you can do. There's many shortcuts that I didn't go into. So if you want to learn a little bit more, I recommend you check out this resource. It's called tmuxcheatsheet.com. Over there you can figure out all the shortcuts and everything you need to do. My next tip is a Visual Studio Code tip, and it involves flames. Okay, to install this effect, all we're going to do is go over to our package explorer in VS Code. We're going to type in power mode and we're going to click the install button. After the plugin has downloaded and installed, we need to configure it. This is really simple. All you need to do is a control and a comma. This will open up the Visual Studio settings. In the search settings, just type power mode enable. Pick the power mode enable icon. Now by default, the effect that comes with power mode is a sort of particle thing. I don't really like it. What we want to do is have flames. So we want to do presets. From here, we want to change from particles to flames, and that's it. Now, another uncanny ability of the hacker is to be able to find source code instantly, and we can do that on our computers using the Silver Searcher. To get started with the Silver Searcher, you can download it from the official GitHub page. So just do a search for the Silver Searcher. You know you're on the right track when you go to Jeff Greer's GitHub page. From here you can scroll right down to the bottom and you should find the Windows installer. All you need to do is download it and run it, and it should install it. The Silver Searcher works in a terminal, so open up a prompt. In here we're going to start it with AG, which is the Silver Search command. Now the first parameter is the search term, so I'm going to do steve.seagull. And then the second parameter is the folder, so I'm going to search my code folder, and then off it goes. Now the impressive thing about this search, it may seem like it's going a bit slow, but it's actually searching about 30 different repos. There's probably a good 500,000 files, and as you can see, within 2 seconds it returned the result. Now that's pretty quick. So we have finally got to the good part. We're actually going to hack into a website. Now hacking into a production website is illegal, so instead what we're going to do is download a security website via Docker, and then we can practice our hacking skills on our own desktops. To install the website that we're going to hack, what we need to do is head over to Docker. On Docker, you need to have a search for vulnerabilities web DVWA. I'll zoom in on the URL so you can see. So it's hubdocker.com and then vulnerabilities/web DVWA. Now, because I'm using the mobile view, if I scroll right down the bottom, you should see that we have this docker pull command. What we want to do is copy that. Now that we have that command copied, open up a terminal. In the terminal, we just want to do a quick paste, so docker pull, and off it goes. In order for us to get the container up and running and we can connect to it, we need to type in the command, which is docker, and then we need to do run -d -p. Now I want to connect to it using port 8081 because my AC is built up with IIS, and as you can see here, I've got it vulnerability/web DVWA. To make sure that the container is running within our desktop, scroll to the bottom. Want to make sure that we open Docker Desktop. From here that we can see that our container is now running, and if you click on this open a new browser button, it should load up our website. When DVWA loads, we can access it by typing in the username of admin and the password as password. To make life as easy as possible for ourselves, after logging in, we want to set the security level to minimum, so hacking will be very easy. What we just want to do is scroll down to the bottom where we have this DVWA security tab. In here we have this drop down, just make sure it's set to low. When it's set to low, things should be easy. We are finally ready to start hacking. And what we're going to do is run some malicious JavaScript on this web page. Now, let's be honest, the JavaScript we're going to run is pretty simple. We're going to do an alert and a console.log. But the principle is that if you don't lock down your forms, then people can inject JavaScript and do untoward things on it. These hacks are very simple, and if you find vulnerable web forms on the internet, you can run these tests yourself, have a bit of fun. However, these can be used for malicious purposes, and if you're building a website, then you should be aware of some of these issues and how you can fix them. If you enjoy these hacking challenges and you want to improve your skills or just have a little play around, as you can see from the DVWA website, there's a number of different scenarios that you can play around with. So we can do cross-site scripting, there's SQL injection, you can try and break a captcha, you can do some file uploads. So knock yourself out, there's a load of fun to be had here, and it's very simple and free to download. If you're still watching this and you can't be bothered with any other tips, then you can just go over to hackertyper.net, bash away on the keyboard, and it will make you look like a proper hacker. So how did you find this video? I'm hoping that you learned something and at least you found it mildly entertaining. Otherwise, that would be pretty awkward for both of us. If you want to be an absolute legend and you like this content, then please hit the subscribe button. This is the easiest way that someone in this universe is going to think of you as an absolute legend today. If you like this sort of content, then I do weekly web development videos on YouTube, so subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. If you've got any thoughts or you want to talk about this video or you want to see me talk about something in particular, please leave some comments below and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, if you want to do me a massive favor, hit the like button. It just helps other people view this content. Apart from that, have a great day and happy coding.